Hi, welcome to Scouting Wandering. My name is Peter, and it is time for another campground review of a county park in Wisconsin. This time I am in Vernon County, just outside of Viroqua, at Sidie Hollow Park. I think I might have found my holy grail of campsites here. Now, I have found what I am looking for. And this park has 3 different campgrounds, so you too can find what you're looking for. I'm going to do a complete walking tour of this, one of the 3 campgrounds at a time. They're not close together. To drive from one to the other takes a while. They're far apart. There are trails. We'll see how I do getting from trails from one to the other. But the reason I love this one so much is it has the holy grail of campsite things that I'm looking for. Outside my door, I have got Babbling Creek and the beautiful sound of a babbling brook to go to sleep to tonight. Now, before I settle in for my evening here, I'm going to give you the campground tour of this loop. Okay, basically, I'll probably have to put up a different map. I am in the main campground. There's the Upper Ridge campground, and there's also a boat landing campground. Okay, 3 distinct campgrounds, and there are 3 different kinds of sites here. You have your rustic site, non-electric, some drive right into. There are electric hookup sites, and there are full hookup sites here. Those are over in the boat landing section. So it's a different crowd over there. There's the boat landing section, which is a lot of more seasonal type of camping over there. The main campground here, as you can see, is just lots of green space. Pick a spot that's designated. Some are electric, some are not. And then there is the Upper Ridge section. Those are parking pad parking spots up in a wooded area, and it again has a very different feel than this one does. And there's actually someone down there on the creek right now fly fishing too. Let's go down to the info station, get you the rates. Okay, camping can be booked online. You can go to the county website and book your sites, and very highly recommended for the weekends. For those that like to show up, they do have an Iron Ranger at each of the 3 campgrounds. There's one of these with the little envelopes inside. And the rates, $20 for rustic, $120 a week, $300 a month. Electric, $30 a night, $150 a week, $450 a month. Electric and water, there are many layers here. $40, $210 a week, $600 a month. Full hookup, so you have sewer as well, $45, $250 a week, $675 a month. And there are shelters here as well. They do have seasonal sites for $1,900, and I believe a lot of the folks over at the boat landing are seasonal. So I won't be doing a lot of detail on that grouping. So we're going to head down to the beginning of this campground, down by the water, by the lake, and walk up the whole length here and show you each and every site so you can decide if it's perfect for you. Now, to give you a good sense of the whole park here, these are the park boundaries, well, with farmland stuck in the middle here. This is the main campground. I'm currently standing down here by the shelter and camping up in this area, well, actually way up here. And there is the ridge, and then the boat ramp section down here. And as you'll see, road between the 2 is that, and to get to this you have to go all the way out and back down in. And if you decide to try to make a lap around, you're going to go for about a half an hour drive or more. through Amish country. So it's a very pretty area if you decide to go wandering beyond. So this is, well, the lake down there. Day use area as well. With a shelter up here. There are trails wandering off down there. People just came out of the water. They're swimming in it down there. There looks like there's a fishing pier. I see people fishing all over the place here. Some of the trails are a little harder to find, like this one behind me, disappearing up into the woods. I'm gonna have to go exploring that later. But I just want to give you a lay of the land. Some more people fishing on the creek over there. It's just an active little spot. All right, here's a little supplemental information I need to throw into the videos for Vernon County Parks. Sidie Hollow and Sophia Rents Park have a music series, Wednesday nights, alternating between the two parks. So I am told I'm here on a Tuesday on June 3rd. June 4th is the kickoff, and this place is going to be packed until about 8:30 at night. And then people will take off. So just be aware there may be extra people coming to visit your campground on Wednesday nights. And usually I'm saying, hey, you come on a Wednesday, the place is empty. These campgrounds, these parks will be active every other Wednesday during the summer. Now right off the shelter, we'll start with 224, but obviously the stream right off the back where they're fishing right now. And these are park up in the lot and tent down here. And you can't drive down into these sites. 223. But once you're down here, you have all that. 222. I guess I'm going backwards, aren't I? $221 here. And the last one in this batch would be 220. All off the parking lot here. Now at the end of the parking lot, there's a path that goes across to true walk-in sites. I'm gonna have to come back to these. I need to change shoes. These are not the shoes to get over there. I did get my wardrobe change completed and no unauthorized vehicles beyond this point. I'm going to go across and take a look at these rustic sites over here. Well, hello, little buddy. You almost don't look real. Huh. $74. There's a faint numbers here, and that would probably be that picnic table and fire ring way back there. This doesn't get the same kind of manicuring as the other side does because I probably can't get the good mower over here. There will be frogs. 75. 76 and 77. So very rustic over here. I only really saw one fire ring, so no campfires except for that one over here. They're very nice rustic sites if you want to carry in, but they don't look well used. 219. Some very noisy neighbors around here. Now these next couple of them are electric sites. 228 over here. Or 218, sorry, 218. I assume they may have changed their numbering at some point. And let's see what kind of power we have. Just a 30 amp and a 15 amp. Now for reference, I'm across from the Iron Ranger station here. There is a water spigot there. There will be a dump station that's being renovated right now. There is a dump station in all 3 campgrounds. That is a bathroom and shower house with firewood on the end. And then these sites over here, 217, 216, 215, and 214 on the end. All kind of somewhat of shared space backing up to the creek. Your limitation is how long is your power cord. Now behind the shower house and the firewood, which is $10 per wheelbarrow, but you're going to want to bring an axe, because none of these are anything that'll start a fire. They'll burn the fire all night long, but not the best stuff for firewood. There is site 225. This is a full hookup site, it looks like. Well, at least I see electric and dump, but I don't see water. Just a little further down is another little clump here. 213 here. The creek is still running behind here. 212, 211, 210, and 209, I think I'm counting right. Now there is additional parking over here if you just want to carry tents in. Let's take a close look at 209. And this one, you can come right down by the creek. Now across the street from that cluster on the creek, we have another cluster over here of hookup sites. All right, these are electric sites. Nice long pads, 226 here. Nice big area off to the side. They have good room between the neighbors. 227, really long, straight back in sites with all this room out here to maneuver. 228 here. Now these do back up to some pit toilets. There might be a trail heading off over there. 229 and 230 kind of split off of that Y over there, so they're not quite as easy to maneuver into. And all in all, I have 5 sites, but I have 6 picnic tables and fire rings. I'm not quite sure what happened there. And after a little bit of a gap, coming over here, first site, 208. Now there is a warning for the wild parsnip here. Don't be touching that stuff, it will burn you. So be careful getting close to the water. And that puts me at 207 over there. Okay, 208, 207 here, and that one has a nice babble off the back. Now across the street, I got 53 over here. This field, it's a marked spot, no picnic table, fire ring, but it is a site. We'll continue down the row here. 206, 205, and 204. These are all non-electric. Nice flat area through the middle here, so I have no problem getting a flat spot to park my vehicle. And if you want a tent right by the water, that option is available as well. Let's go down, take a look over here. So this is the area off the back of 205. See my site over there, and the creek working its way through. 205 and a better look at 204. This is a nice site too. This one actually has some trees going on and still backs up to the water nicely. And there's a bit of a gap between 204 and 203. Our last cluster over here is 203, 202, and 201. And lots of just big green space here. Plenty of room to enjoy putting your tent right next to the river. Doesn't get much better than that for sleeping. And this big site here, 203, has got the firing to match it. It is a big firing. There's something to know about this campsite group, is there are a lot of cars driving through this campground. There's a lot of recreation activity opportunities with, you know, kayaks and things down on the waterfront. There are lots of mountain bike opportunities here, lots of hiking, lots of fishing, and that means a lot of people coming and going. And a lot of them, they got some old cars. And they're making a lot of noise. So I'm gonna go sit down, get some dinner, and then maybe go see where some of these trails lead me. Okay, I have come up to the top, the Upper Ridge Campground here. One thing to note is down in the lower campground, there is no cell service, but they do have Wi-Fi too, and it is pretty good and strong service. They have an Iron Ranger up here too, so you can pay up here. So you just come up, pick your site, pay at the station. Again, shower house up here. They're strong, sturdy concrete buildings, so if you're ever caught in a storm, that's a good place to be. I'm going to go down to, well, let me see if I can figure out which end I should start at. Well, it looks like it's an out and back numbering system, so I can start at one end, go all the way to the other, loop, come back around. So I'm going to do this twice for you. The mountain bike trails here seem to be extensive. Everywhere I keep kind of seeing movement in the woods. So like, oh, there's another mountain biker. There goes another mountain biker. So if that's your thing, this is a great place. But you're going to be doing some hills too. It's not all, you know, it's not like some places where you can ride something up to the top and you know, just coast down. Here you actually have to do the work. Okay, I'm going to go all the way down to the end down here and then work our way back up. Okay, it looks like we have about 31 sites. So 301 and 302 here, sort of a combined space. These are primitive sites, no electric or anything here. And nice little sites. I mean, this would be perfect for me. Nice small pad, way more room than I could ever figure out what to do with. There is a trail going along the back edge of that. 302 here, this one's got a downhill slope. I would not be happy with that one. And since I wouldn't be able to park out here because it'd be in the way of that one. Now, 303, this is water and electric. This whole stretch out here is water and electric. So 304, wow, we got a lot of woodpeckers up here. Pretty birds. Don't have those down in the lower campground, in the main campground. Ton of room between sites. 305. This, look, judging by the pads, they don't get as much love up here as down below. They look a little less worn. 306. I get the feeling that they, you know, some people, since you can do monthly or seasonal, you could plunk down up here as well. 307. I mean, look at all the space between sites. You're definitely not on top of your neighbor here. 307 here. And these sites just go way back. 308. .309. And so much room between. I'm gonna jump ahead. Between 309 and 310 is an endless distance. They are planting some more trees, which is good because they could use a little cover in here too. 310, 311. Again, these are all electric on this side with water. Then I hit the bathhouse and we'll continue down on the other side. All right, a little gap over from the shower house, 312. Again, water and electric. This one's kind of slopey the whole way through. Get some nice woods over here. By the time we get to 313, now we're actually in the woods. Old picnic table, newer picnic table, I believe. 314. Woodpecker, a couple different kinds of woodpeckers up here. 315, still water and electric. 316, and there's a couple on the loop, and we'll go back the other way. There's a nice sights actually back here, and there goes a mountain biker behind again. Keep thinking I'm seeing critters running around, but it's always people on mountain bikes. Okay, we just came down, we got a loop at the end. Now off the end of this loop, we got a trail heading off that also crosses other trails that you can see forever out that way. Same thing off over there. Got some rustic site over here. 317. All of this is 317. Lots of room there. Not a lot of room to park, but lots of room. All right, we got 318 here. Now these all have a bit of a steep off of the road here. And I've discovered now in my new van, same vehicle that I had before, but with all the RV stuff underneath it, I don't have the clearance I used to. I might have a trouble getting in and out of some of these. This drop off, I think I'd be scraping up on my tank dump portion of my RV. 319 here, also not very flat. I mean, it's flat this way, but it's got some curves to it on the gravel pad. 320. Now these we're kind of going up, but to get into these it would be a back in from the initial entrance. Still lots of room between, a little more wooded. All of these are rustic sites, no electric, no hookup of any form. 321 and 322. These two are kind of close together, so hopefully that's your friend nearby. Then we hit some pit toilets, which are the originals up here in the shower house. Off goes a mountain biker with his doggy. So as I'm walking past it, so rustics are 20, and up here it's water and electric, so $40 a night. 323 over here, next to the pit toilet. I mean, the space beyond is just as much as you want. This side has got plenty of room for hammocks and things if you want. 324. I mean, these just don't look loved up here. Judging by the state of the fire pit, that does not look like it's been used in a long time. 325. 326 and then 327. Big distance difference between 325 and 326, but then 327 is close. But you have all that space behind for picnic table and fire ring. Okay, that was 327 over there, big gap. 328. Now when you're set up in here, you're just staring into the woods and looking at the woodpeckers. 329. Really wooded little site here, and the way these are spaced, you actually are looking behind the neighbors' vehicles off the side of your unit here into the woods. 330. This one's got a bit of a downhill slope at the end. And then 331 on the end here. Is it actually a site? I don't think they're even counting it anymore. There's no signage, no picnic table, but there is a fire ring. If they ever get desperate, which I don't think is an issue up here. Now we're already past Memorial Day when I'm filming this, which means we passed the first big everything's booked weekend. And this was not booked apparently, or at least not used, and nobody built a fire along this whole stretch. So there are campsites out there, even on the holidays. Some are just harder to find and you got to know where to look. And now I let you know one more spot you can look. And this is as good as a lot of other campgrounds. I don't know what's missing out. I do love the water down below, but this one is nothing to sneeze at either. This is great. This is a nice stretch, but it's just a little more remote. And isn't that what you want when you're camping? I just checked up here and there is no Wi-Fi. I do have a repeater tower above me to probably get rural internet throughout the region here. But there's no Wi-Fi up here, but the cell service does work. Down below, I had no cell service. The Wi-Fi was actually pretty strong. I think this is their dump station. Not the best. Hopefully they're improving the one down below. They've also got a bicycle repair stand up here, sponsored by Blue Dog Bicycles, who was the bicycle company I saw down below come in yesterday. Also BSA Eagle Scout project. So they need bicycle repair stations around here for all the extra mountain biking going on. So extra trails up here for that. That's kind of nice. Something I did not note yesterday is there are occasionally these little lights. Some of them are in or hovering over campsites. So be aware of that. I only see this one up here, but down below I saw them in campsites, and that might be something you want to avoid if you truly want the dark sky experience that can be offered out in this area. I'm going to hop back in the van, drive to the far end, and check out the boat launch area, which is a good chunk of it is seasonal sites because it's full hookups. But there is also, I think, a group site that is really kind of nice. And it may just be individual sites. We'll find out. Okay, it's time for the next tour of this campground. We've got the boat launch section. Most of these seem to be seasonal sites. Certainly the ones along the creek here, and I can understand why. Full hookups, and the ones that are available are across the road, and those are the ones I'm actually going to show you because these seasonal ones, they're already occupied and probably are regularly, and if you want to be booking into these, you're going to want to come down here yourself and pick them out. But here's the creek behind them. So I believe that's the camp host site there, 119. That's 117. Here's 118, backed up to the shower building. That's that row of seasonals. 119. And these are full hookup, water, sewer, electric. The sewer's awfully high on some of these. 120, 121. Obviously, they're not going anywhere. That's more than seasonal. You can still register here on site with the Iron Ranger for those sites that are available if you need full hookups. Firewood again, handy. $10 a wheelbarrow. Little playground over here. There's two sites up there. But first, I'm going to show you what's straight ahead. And that might be more interest to some of you. Now here, following the creek, just behind all of this brush, is a series of rustic sites, big open space. 105, 104, 103, 102, and 101 right now has a tent in it. So I'm not going to go all the way back. And that's along the road coming down here. Now behind here, we once again have the creek, or a different creek from what I'm staying on. But you get a creek behind you. Now according to the reservation tags here, this group of sites has all been reserved by a school. So they're taking over this entire section of campsites, which is kind of nice. It becomes a group campsite. Come in, put down the tents, do whatever, lay it out any way you want. Let's take another look down to the creek. The kids will get wet. And the last three sites, and I believe these are just electric, at least these two are, 125, 124. These small sites, I would fit there just fine. This one's a little bigger, and I believe, yeah, just electric at 123. So a couple sites up here on the road. Now this isn't a busy road. This is just going down to the boat ramp, and that's it. And as you can see, it's not an active boat ramp. And we are, like I said, we're just a few minutes outside of Viroqua. So easy access to town. Anything you need, they got it up there. I did also notice the fairgrounds has a camping. I discovered that when I overshot my turn, had to turn around in the fairgrounds and like, oh look, camping section. So you can camp there too, if you want to be right in town. Well, that's my look around Sidie Hollow County Park in Vernon County, just outside Viroqua. And the holy grail of finding camping sites on a creek with the sound of the babbling water. It is the best night's sleep you can have. This is what I've been looking for. If you know of any place else like this in Wisconsin, let me know. The only other one I know of is Bangley Rapids in the National Forest. So things to cover here. Like I said, down here, no cell service, but strong Wi-Fi. Up top, there's cell service, no Wi-Fi. Down by the boat ramp, I had cell service and Wi-Fi. So you got a mix of opportunities there. If you don't want the Wi-Fi, don't tell anybody there's Wi-Fi, and they can be cut off from the world down here, which may be why this is so popular. Obviously, this is more popular than up top on the ridge, but that ridge campground is really nice too. If you're a mountain biker, that's a great starting point to get going from. There seems to be plenty going on up there, and it looks underutilized. Any place else, that campground would be great. But compared to this, it's an okay campground. But it needs some love too. So if this place is filled up, check that out. And you may be able to still snag a site down here on one of your nights of a longer stay. Thanks for watching. Like I said, let me know if you know of any more places like this. I would appreciate it. This was actually recommended to me by a viewer. Said, you got to check this place out, and they were right. This, when I first looked at the map, I saw that creek run along, like, oh, this might be it. And it was, and I'm thrilled to be here. So thanks to the viewer who pointed that out. I really appreciate it. And I will probably be back here at some point as well. So that's what I got for you. Now get on out there, and I'll see you in the next one.